Welcome back to another video from the Shed End podcast with myself, T.Dot. As always, thank you very much for joining me. Now, before we get into the content, as always, please subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to give this video a like before you leave the video. It helps with the algorithms. It helps us get seen by more viewers, more Chelsea fans, hopefully. So spread the word. Let people know that From the Shed End is hopefully one of those video accounts on YouTube that you actually enjoy watching. And don't forget to hit the Linktree link in the description as well. That will take you to all our podcast episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Now, the Champions League draw has just taken place. I can confirm that we will be playing Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League last 16. I don't know how to feel about it. If I'm going to be honest, I think it's again, I feel in the Champions League, it's anything's possible. Anything goes. When we won it with Roberto Di Matteo, a lot of people said that we potentially weren't going to win it then. We had to go to Barcelona. And to be honest, you have to play the teams that are just come up against you. If you want to win the Champions League, you got to beat the best. So Borussia Dortmund, let's be honest, they're one of the best teams in Europe right now, alongside Bayern Munich, PSG, Real Madrid. There's a lot of teams out there that are doing really well domestically as well in their own domestic leagues. But I do feel it could have been worse. Let's be honest, it could have been worse. We could have got PSG, which I don't know. I don't think we based on how we're playing at the moment, I don't think we would have even stood a chance with PSG. Playing Borussia Dortmund is going to be very difficult. It's going to prove very difficult. They're a really good team. They've done well in their group stages. I'm just looking at it here now. So they only won 2 out of their 6 games in the group stages. They beat Copenhagen 3-0 early on in the group stage, and then they beat Seville 4-1. But they lost to Manchester City, and then they drew their last 3 in the group stage. So they do well domestically. I think they're 4th or 5th in the Bundesliga at the moment, but we had a very good, strong end to our Champions League campaign. We beat AC Milan back-to-back. We then beat RB Salzburg, and then we beat Dynamo Zagreb at the last of the group stages. So when you look at it based on that, you'd expect us to go in to these last 16 games with the umph to go and try and do something. And like I said in the previous video, we need to see a lot more fight, a lot more desire from these players. Whether they've got that in them is another debate for another day. But they need to go into these Champions League games thinking of this as the final. Every game in knockout stage is a final. Yes, there's 2 legs, but at the end of the day, if you don't do well in that first leg, it doesn't matter what we do at Stamford Bridge in the second leg. It really doesn't. We could, if we can come away with there with a 0-0 or 1-0, keep the scoreline down. It gives us every opportunity when we come back in the second leg to Stamford Bridge to try and do something. And I think that first game is going to be tricky. If my memory serves me right, I don't think we've ever played Borussia Dortmund in a competitive match before. So I'm looking forward to, obviously, Borussia Dortmund. They've got some good players in their team that we know about already. They've got a lot of experience in there. You look at, obviously, Matt Hummels as a really good player for them. The standout, obviously, is Jude Bellingham, that is being spoken about heavily amongst Liverpool fan base, the Real Madrid fan base, and obviously the Chelsea fan base, because all 3 of us want to try and prize him away from Borussia Dortmund in the summer. So I'm looking forward to what they can do. It's going to be a really good game. Like I said, they started their domestic season really well. But when you think about the Champions League, it is anyone's game. By then, we'll have hopefully some of our key injuries, the likes of Reece James, potentially Wesley Fofana back in the team as well. N'Golo Kante, if he's fit enough to start after the World Cup. So there's some key players that will come back. We might even add to the squad as well. You got to think, does Graham Potter get, a small chunk of money to try and bolster that squad, bolster the attack in the January transfer window. So there's still a lot to play for. Maybe I was overcritical in my last video, but we need someone in front of goal that knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. Yes, Aubameyang can do that, but it's that link-up play with the likes of Kai Havertz. It's the likes of Raheem Sterling. We need someone that can do that creative side of the work going forward, helping out an Aubameyang. But I do think, again, he's only a stopgap. He's covering over a crack that we've had for many seasons. And I think if we realistically want to try and stay as long into this competition and maybe go all the way to win it, we're going to have to bring in some reinforcements. You know, we're going to have to try and keep Reece James fit. We're going to have to try and keep Ben Chilwell fit this season. We're going to have to try and rotate and rest N'Golo Kante as much as possible to make sure that he remains fit and he stays as fit as possible throughout. You know, Thiago Silva, another key player that we're going to need in these knockout stages now. Wrap him in cotton wool, rest him when we can. I think all of these things are going to come into fruition if we can do that. Then I think we stand a really good chance against Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund. I think we stand a really good chance against them. Like I said, domestically, I think they're fourth. They're doing really well. We have to bear in mind, and I don't think this will happen, but I think if we're not careful and we do, you know, go 3-4-0 behind in the first leg, the game's almost but over. You know, we're not the team that's going to go, bar the Juventus game when I think we won 4-0, 4-1. We don't score high, you know, we don't score many goals in a game. So I do think, you know, you look back to previous sort of knockout games. You look back to the Real Madrid game, Atletico Madrid game. You know, when we our backs against a wall under the cosh, and we scored. Olivier Giroud's brilliant goal. You know, you think we've been under pressure. We seem to perform well under pressure. You know, there's been times when we've looked at the underdog and we've come out on top. And I think this is one of those moments we will potentially be the underdogs in this game, albeit Borussia Dortmund, but we'll be an underdog in the game 100% based on how we're playing at the moment. You know, no one's really going to give us any credit of if we win. They won't expect us to win. So we are going to be underdogs. We have to perform well. We have to do our defensive duties, our attacking duties. We have to be strong in midfield against Borussia Dortmund. You know, they are a really good, well-organised team, and it's only going to take a moment of lapse in concentration to allow them to come in and do what they need to do, score goals, and that will put them on good stead in the second leg. So Graham Potter's got a lot of work to do from now, in my opinion, from now until February when the games will take place. I think on the 14th and 15th and the 21st, 22nd for the second leg of February for those games. He's got a lot of work to do. It'll be interesting if he gets some money in the transfer window, maybe just to add a couple of additions, you know, to look at that right back area. You know, we haven't really got any cover apart from Azpilicueta. We need to address that if we want to be serious about trying to win this Champions League. You know, it's a massive ask, it's a massive stretch, but, you know, anything is possible in knockout football. Anything is possible. So we just have to hope that we can keep that first leg down, the scoreline down, clean sheet if possible, maybe nick a 1-0, and then go into that second Stamford Bridge game, the second leg, and hopefully we can get through and progress to the next round of the Champions League. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. What's your thoughts on us having Borussia Dortmund in the next round, the last 16 of the Champions League? As I said at the start of the video, Linktree link in the description. It will take you to all our social accounts and also the podcast episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. This has been T.Dot. Until next time, stay safe and thank you very much for watching.